everybody. Welcome to another episode of Carrot Corner. I'm very excited today to sit down with Bola, our Principal Cloud Recruitment Consultant on the NerdRabbit Direct team over here. What we plan to do today is talk a little more about her role at our company, what NerdRabbit Direct does as a part of our business, and how that's relevant alongside our Nerdly platform to this current hiring climate that we find ourselves in. So welcome, Bola, and we're glad to have you on.
Yes, hi. I'm really happy to be here. As Chris said, my name is Bola. I'm a Principal Cloud Recruiter with NerdRabbit. Been with the company now it's about to be a year, actually, in September. Prior to that, I was with FRG, which is another recruitment company, just doing AWS ERP recruitment. And it's been a year since I, kind of delved into the cloud, and that's been interesting. So basically what I do here, as Chris mentioned, is direct placement. So I work on contract needs with clients as well as full-time direct hire needs. As Chris said, it's been a very interesting market, I would say, in the last year with the advent of remote work. Also just it being more so of a job-driven market versus candidates. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself and what I do.
Yeah, and as far as it goes, so just a little history on kind of the NerdRabbit Direct side of the business. So that kind of goes back a little more into our history kind of in the Catalyst Tech Ventures companies to Relatech and everything past that. So NerdRabbit is a sister company of Relatech, and we have another sister company called ChannelWorks. Relatech, what we were doing over there is we actually had this internal talent team that eventually is what became NerdRabbit. Now, what NerdRabbit Direct does is still very much in that vein of those permanent and long-term contract positions. Obviously, it's been kind of a crazy time in the job market. So tell me a little bit about, I guess, you're seeing for the candidate experience in today's market. Like, what's that like for a candidate who's looking to make a change right now?
I will say it's a very exciting market for a candidate right now. There's definitely more jobs than there are candidates, especially in the cloud space. We're recruiting for architects, data scientists, and a lot of these positions. What I've seen is, candidates kind of have all the power right now. So they should definitely take advantage of that. There's a lot more needs, but of course that ties into a lot of the growth that's happened over the last year in needing cloud and security and everyone kind of working from home. So yeah, it's a great market for the candidates. The employees are just going to have to buckle in and make sure they're able to give this group kind of what they need.
Absolutely. I mean, kind of on the flip side of that, because we obviously have a lot of contact with our customers, the people who are trying to make these hiring decisions. What are your big recommendations for companies trying to navigate this right now?
I would say flexibility. There's, that should be the word of the last year, really. And employers should really take that in, is flexibility. If you can get someone in that is a great candidate, but you want them to be in the office, that's just not going to cut it in this market, right? So not just flexibility, work from home flexibility, kind of really understanding what does that candidate need, that's going to differentiate your company from the next company that's looking to hire the same person. So I would say flexibility, having a good kind of knowledge about your own company. Why are you working at your own company? What's so great about your company that's going to appeal to this candidate over the extensive job market that's out there for them? So flexibility and just being able to kind of identify what's unique about your company that's going to appeal to this candidate.
Absolutely. And, I'm certain from the candidates you're talking to as well, I'm sure you're hearing why they're leaving certain jobs. Like you said, why are people staying at their jobs? What are you kind of hearing as some of the reasons people are leaving?
The number one reason recently I've seen has been they're looking to come back to the office, just kind of me being straightforward. It seems to be the number one drive of a lot of these tech candidates, especially in the cloud space, where they're like, I don't need to sit down in an office with 30 people. I can work very much effectively from home. That's been a big thing I've seen. The other thing I've also seen, I will say, is I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, the care factor I think over the last year, because we have been remote in a sense, there's kind of been that loss of, this is not just another body out there in the world. This is an employee of yours. This is someone you really should take care of. So a lot of the candidates I've been working with, that number one is usually, I want to continue working from home. And number two is I just feel like the company has really lost its value in me and knowing me in the last year.
Absolutely. So it's been hard to kind of keep those same connections and loyalties that were obviously very close to home working from the office. But now there's kind of the flip side that people are working from home. And for one reason or another, there is kind of some resistance to go back to the office. I think a big one is, right now we're still, COVID's obviously not over. So with children and everything else that you're trying to deal with in your life, I think you're right. That's a huge driver right now. People want that flexibility while we're still in such a tumultuous time. So no, that's really good to know. I guess I'd love to get some best practices. So you said some best practices for obviously the people who are hiring, flexibility from a candidate, because obviously there's a lot of opportunities. But when it comes to finding the best type of situation for them, what's some advice you can give about, navigating their search?
No, 100%. I mean, I will always say the first thing I always tell candidates is you do not move for money. If you want more money, go and ask your boss for more money. Go and ask your managers for more money. You need to really identify, why do you want to move? Is it because of, again, flexibility? Is it because you're just not growing? Is it because you need a change? Is it because of you want to work with a different technology, or you want to work in a different space? So I'd say for my best practical advice to candidates is really identify, why do you want to move? It's not money. You need to identify what's going to shift. Your job is really more than 50% of your life, right? Money can only get you so far, really. So candidates need to identify, why am I actually moving? Do I just need a change? Is it because, I don't know, the last technologies I've been working with haven't upgraded anything. So I'd say just candidates on their end, identifying why is it that you're actually looking to move, and actually sharing that with your recruiter as well. We're not just here to take your salary comp. We're here to also help in every aspect. For clients, I will say flexibility. I was reading an article about this hiring manager where he's like, I don't care where you are. I don't care how many hours you put in. I care that you're actually putting in effort in the hours that you do work, right? So and I think a lot of employers kind of need to take that on. The time of let's just have a body in a seat has kind of passed in the last year. So I would say best practice for employers, really understanding what makes your employee ready to work. Not just log onto a computer or sit in a seat. What makes them really ready to work for you? And that's a conversation that they need to be having with their executive teams as well, is what I would say.
Yeah. And, it's kind of like there's a difference between hours and quality hours. And the quality hours tend to have almost an exponential increase in productivity. So it really is, how do you make sure that what people are putting in, when they're putting in, that they're getting the best work out of someone, because that usually yields the best results. And I did like what you were saying as well about people knowing why they're moving. Money, it could be that they could ask their job for more money. There's not more money to give them, and they really need more money, and someone else will give it to them. That is a situation. But what I think is interesting is that's often not the only thing. It could be that you feel, like you said, unappreciated is a big one. You like to feel like what you're doing has an impact. And I saw that constantly in recruitment, where people just felt like they're doing these big things and they just get overlooked. That's a big one. I like to tell when I was in the recruiting side of the business, I like to talk to candidates about not running from their job, but running to a job. It's a very different kind of way of looking at it. You're trying to pursue something, not get out of something. So, I think that's a huge thing to consider when you're looking to make that move. Don't just be trying to get out of there. Just really take the time to find where you're going to want to spend some time in a new place. Past that, I think we've covered a lot of the kind of stuff that would be good for our customers, for our candidates to consider while kind of getting through this crazy time in the job market. Thanks for obviously joining us on this call today. It's always good to have more people from the NerdRabbit team come on Carrot Corner as we continue this series. For anyone who is watching right now, do continue to follow us on social media. So LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we'll make sure we keep you up to date on everything NerdRabbit. So we will see you again next time.
Thank you.